Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time to update, review the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite version 1. So this is my race day shoe. It propelled me last week to a very easy steezy marathon PB. I took it quite comfortably on the day, but yeah, this shoe got me around in a new PB for the marathon in 3 hours 40. Time to now update it after getting well past 100 miles in it. Let's dive straight in. So yeah, as with all my shoes, I did an initial run review. I've also done a 30 mile 50k kind of update review, kind of first in-depth review as such. And now, once I go past the 100 mile kind of landmark, it's time to update. This is the last shoe of the 5 to hit that landmark. I've been holding it back. Obviously, it is my race day shoe, my first ever carbon plated shoe. So now I've just gone past the 100 mile mark, 170 odd K. So now it's time to give an update as my views and opinions changed on all the major parts of the shoe. Let's get on with it. So yeah, so today's a quick update. If you want to go and see the stats and facts, weights, etc., all the big details of data, go and look at the initial review. I did that, like I said, after 30 miles, 50k. Today I'm just going to update all the major parts of the shoe. Have my scores changed as my feelings changed? How is the shoe holding up now after 100 miles compared to how it was doing after 30 miles? So yeah, start as always with the outsole. So yeah, the initial review after 30 miles, I gave it an 8 out of 10. After just over 100 miles, I'll do some closer some talking. The outsole's holding up pretty well. There's only one little small part. I'll try and get it on the camera now. It's just this outer edge of the lateral edge of the heel on the right foot, which is a new one for me. It looks like it's been scuffed a few times, so maybe it's my running gait whilst running with this particular shoe. But yeah, I've never had that kind of wear on the outside of my right foot before. Maybe it's my foot placement, I'm not sure with a carbon plate, who knows. But yeah, that's the first bit that's looking like it's going to be a bit of wear and tear. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 for the after 30 miles. I'm going to just creep it up to about 8.5. I said there is that little bit of wear there, but that's the only bit. The middle of the forefoot, the toe off area, the grip, everything's pretty good. The rubber has kind of lost its bit of a veneer now. I said that I think on the initial review, and it's now getting a bit more grippy. It was wet on marathon race day itself, wet underfoot, and there was no issues with grip or slipping of any sort. So yeah, 8 after the initial review. Now it goes up to 8.5 after 100 miles, 170k. Moving on to the midsole, so it's Puma's Nitro Elite foam, so the premium foam. Obviously, again, this is a slightly older shoe now. I bought this again on a massive discount last year at the end of 2023. Because obviously V2 I think had just come out, and obviously this year in 2024 version 3 has come out. So this is a really old shoe. I think it's still potentially available. I'll confirm on screen now if it is still available to buy, probably in limited sizes. But yeah, so Puma's Nitro Elite foam, premium foam. There is a carbon plate in it. Again, you can see that through the window. So midsole. Again, I've used it for different things. I've tried a few bits of speed work in this shoe. I've tried longer runs in terms of steady state half marathon efforts. I've obviously raced a marathon in it. And yeah, so after the initial review, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm going to just bring it down to about an 8.5 after 100 miles now. It's not a quick shoe, even though it's an elite foam as such, and a kind of a class as a race day foam. I wouldn't use it as definitely for the shorter distances, so 5Ks, 10Ks, I wouldn't be grabbing this shoe. The marathon, I've just done one in it, and again, some of the reviews I read before I purchased it was that it's not quite got enough stack. If you're on your feet for quite a long time, eventually the stack, or lack of stack, starts to kind of play a part towards the end of a marathon. I'll probably confirm that I got a little bit of a hot spot in my ball of my foot towards the end of the marathon, about the last 5K. And it does seem to die a little bit the last 5 or 10k where the foam's not quite that extra couple of mils. It's not a small stack shoe by any means, but it's not a massively high stack shoe. So yeah, you could probably use it. Probably could utilise a bit more foam for a marathon, for example. So for me, it's perfect for me for half marathons, or 10 miles plus, I'd say. So 10k is a little bit quick, a little bit short. I'd say like 15k, 16k, so 10 miles and upwards, up to say the half marathon, is where I think the window for this particular shoe is perfect. It kind of stands to reason. Obviously now V3's come out, they've added more stack to that, which again presumably pushes that towards more of a marathon shoe. And I did see quite a lot of people with version 3 on feet last week when I ran my marathon at Chester. So yeah, 8.5 for the midsole. Pretty poppy, pretty bouncy. A carbon plate does help with obviously the reduced effort levels. But yeah, not a massively quick shoe, not a poppy shoe like speed day shoes I've got in my rotation. So 8.5 after 100 miles. So quickly moving on to upper, really lightweight upper. Again, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but yeah, really lightweight upper, practically translucent. You can see through it. So really lightweight, really breathable. Just a little bit of padding down the centre of the tongue, just for, again, to reduce pressure on top of the foot. Zero heel counter, non-existent. It's basically just a bit of fabric and not much else. Anything about the upper itself, there's literally nothing to it. But really nice laces, slightly stretchy. Perfect to get a nice lockdown. But yeah, upper is, again, it's one of those things. It's just pretty easy to get a lockdown. Pretty comfortable. There is an insole. Comes with the shoe. It's kind of a furry insole, if you want for a better word. Towards the end of the marathon, when I started to get that kind of hot spot, I think again it was probably the foot rubbing against that kind of almost carpet field insole. But yeah. Again, for a race day shoe, that's what you want, lightweight, you don't want much support, you want just enough, and again there's this kind of padded kind of cushions around the heel, just to keep your heel in place. There was a bit of a concern, again, previous reviews is about this kind of suede bit here on the back of the heel, that you could get a bit of Achilles rubbing. I have got a pair of race day kind of really thin socks. I wore those for my half marathon PB this year. And I did get a little bit of blisters on the back of my Achilles where they'd been rubbed. But for the marathon itself, I just wore a slightly thicker pair of socks and no issues whatsoever. So it's a mild concern, but yeah, nothing major. Up, I'm going to leave it as a 9 out of 10 after what I gave it at the initial review. Again, really breathable, really lightweight, exactly what you want for a race day shoe. So quickly, as always, just to finish off, I'll touch upon value and durability. So yeah, I always go off again. I have to go off RRP. So this is a £170 shoe RRP'd. Again, I got it as a massive discount again at the end of last year for, I think it was 75, so well below half price. But yeah, I'm delighted with the price I paid, 75 quid. It's a really nice shoe for that price. For £170, it's pretty good. Yeah, it is a pretty good race day shoe. Again, I'm quite averse to paying massive amounts of money for running shoes. Again, they've got a limited shelf life. The prices do generally come down anyway, so I'm happy to wait. I would never really go out and get the latest drop of a shoe and pay RRP straight away. I'm happy to wait 6, 8, 12 months and get it, like I said, that much later and pay probably pretty much half price, at least 50%, 40% off. But yeah, for £170 shoe, again, initial review, I gave it 8 out of 10. I'm probably going to leave it there, but it's only just hanging on. So I'd want a little bit more, probably again, a little bit more stack, a little bit more propulsion. So again, I've got my Takumi Sen, which is a very similar priced shoe. It's classed as, again, that's classed as a speed or race day shoe. Again, that's probably more aimed at the lower end of the spectrum, so definitely 5s and 10s, but I probably could do a half marathon in that and potentially even get a quicker time than I would have got in this shoe. This is more that top end of the spectrum, half marathons and marathons, but as I've just mentioned, the stack isn't quite there for the full marathon. I have done one and it was fine, and I probably would do another one in these shoes. But again, if you're paying £170, you don't want a limitation of a marathon shoe is that it's not got enough stack or it dies towards the end. For that kind of price, you'd want, again, a little bit more. So yeah, I'm going to leave it 8 out of 10. It's not going to go up because, again, there is some limitations to it, and it's got quite a small window of racing. I think probably the half marathon's the perfect shoe for this particular version. I think version 2 got a little bit better. It is better for half marathons and marathons, and version 3 definitely is aimed more towards the marathon. But yeah, 8 out of 10 for value after 100 miles, 170k. So just quickly wrap up durability time. I gave it 7.5 out of 10. I had some mild concerns about how long the foam would last, compared to obviously some of my other shoes in my rotation, with it being a premium kind of race day shoe. They're not built for long shelf life. However, I do kind of like my shoes to last for a decent amount of time. Obviously, again, get a bit of value for money. But yeah, I give it a 7.5 after 30 miles. Guesstimating it was probably going to last 250, 300 miles, maybe. Again, going off its now usage and wear and tear so far. Actually, the outsole has started to wear a little bit. There is a little bit of creasing on the midsole. The upper looks like it's going to be okay for a while, so I'm probably going to leave it at 7.5. I was debating whether to knock it up to 8, but again, it would be a guess at this point. I will again check in when I get to maybe 250 miles, and I'll do another check in there at that landmark with all the 5 shoes, just to give everyone a bit of an update in terms of how long it's been lasting. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. I think it probably will get to about 200, 250 miles at least, which again is not a bad return. So yeah, to wrap up now with the total scores. So yeah, after 30 miles, 50k, after the initial review, I gave it a 41.5 out of 50, which was 83%. There's been a few tweaks. It's gone up slightly in the outsole, it's gone down slightly in the midsole. but everything else has pretty much remained constant. So yeah, it's actually ended up with the same score, 41.5 out of 50, 83%. So again, nothing's changed after 100 miles, which is not a bad thing. It means either I was pretty accurate with my guesstimations after the initial review, or it's holding up to what I expected to hold up to. So yeah, not too bad. Like I said, a pretty solid shoe. Would I go out and get this again? I wouldn't go and get V1. It is still available. I did just check. Very limited sizes in men's, but you can also obviously get V2, which is the older model, and V3 is not long launched. So in terms of those shoes, there is fairly significant changes with those updates. So this is a completely different shoe to version 2, and then again, version 3 looks completely different again. So version 3 looks quite interesting. I potentially might go and get that down the line as a potential, again, my next marathon race day shoe. Again, why did I grab these particular shoes? I grabbed these because, again, they were the budget version of a super shoe. So obviously I was looking at the Adios Pro, I was looking at obviously the Nike Vaporfly, Alpha Flies as a marathon race day shoe, but we decided to kind of go and grab these. These were obviously massive discount. Everything else was probably much 50, 60, 70 quid more, which almost double the price. So I decided to go and get this as the bargain basement budget shoe for race days, but it is doing well. It's not a bargain shoe by all means. I still paid £75, but again, for the reduction in terms of discount, it was one I grabbed. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Again, look out for upcoming training projects. I will drop more shoe reviews as and when I hit the landmarks with the shoes. Some of the my easy day running shoe, the Ghost, and my dailies. I rack up the miles, so again, I'll check back in with those updates after 250 miles, give or take. As always, thank you for watching. Happy running. All the best with your running. I'll see you all on the next one.